The views and opinions expressed on America's Workforce Union podcast and its digital media channels are solely those of the speakers and do not necessarily represent the views and opinions of the producers or sponsors.
Welcome to the America's Workforce Radio Podcast, the flagship production of the American Workers Radio and Podcast Network, where organized labor and its never-ending fight to protect the rights of the American worker come first. Now, presented by LIUNA, Laborers International Union of North America. Here's your host, Ed Flash Ferens.
The Labor Department getting aggressive on wage theft and safety violations. One company in Texas ordered to pay $3.5 million in fines. Today on the show on Trades Day, it's the United Association Local 43 in Chattanooga, Tennessee. Welcome to the Thursday, July 9th edition of America's Workforce, where we're available on at least 5 platforms. That includes YouTube, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Spotify, and Pandora. Today, we are featuring 2 individuals from UA Local 43 based in Chattanooga, Tennessee. Now, why are we talking to them? Well, I'll tell you, they're happy campers, and I'll tell you why. Because Bloomberg Philanthropies recently announced a $90 million initiative to change how high school students prepare for and enter registered apprenticeship programs. Well, I'll tell you right now, we need them. And right now, Chattanooga is one of about 10 cities that's getting a chunk of that money. Altogether, $90 million. I think they're getting about $9 million. We're talking about paid on-the-job training for approximately 15,000 students, along with Chattanooga, Boston, Detroit, Houston, Raleigh, Richmond, Virginia, St. Louis, Washington, D.C., and the entire state of New Jersey. Michael Bloomberg, remember him? He used to be mayor of New York City. Very wealthy guy. This is what he said. Millions of good-paying jobs are going unfilled, and too many students never get a chance to learn the skills necessary to get them. This new initiative will help change that. And when you take a look at the stats, well, let me run them down briefly. Right now, according to the government, the construction industry will need to hire more than 700,000 workers a year to meet demand. We're talking 81,000 electricians, 44,000 plumbers, pipe fitters, and steamfitters every year. Average age of new apprentices in the U.S. is 29. So we got to bring that number down by going into the schools, okay? Joining us on Trades Day here on America's Workforce, we have 2 individuals from Local 43 based in Chattanooga, Tennessee. Joe Koch is the training director, and he'll be joined by Matt Johnson, who is the president of Local 43, ualocal43.org. This is a local that's got a storied history going back to August 25th of 1890, okay? Local 43 has taken pride in providing a retirement plan and health care for its membership. And the membership, well, they continue to enjoy the 40-hour work week its forefathers fought for to bring to the working class. You can check more at ualocal43.org. Joe Koch and Matt Johnson will be joining us on Trades Day right here on America's Workforce. Now, a brief look into the world of labor. This segment brought to you by Boyd Watterson Asset Management. You can find more at boydwatterson.com. The U.S. Department of Labor has recovered $1.7 million in back wages for 1,666 workers after an investigation found that a multi-trade contractor failed to pay them their full wages, which is in violation of the Fair Labor Standards Act. Something that goes on every day in America. Well, here's the deal. The investigators with the department's wage and hour division discovered that the State Group International, that's the name of the company, the State Group International USA Limited, violated the FSLA's overtime provisions when it did not include incentive bonuses in the regular rate of pay for the hourly employees working at the Ford Motor Company's electric vehicle and battery manufacturing campus in Stanton, Tennessee. As a result, employees were not paid the full overtime premium required for all hours work. The head of Wage and Hour, Andy Rogers, said the state group violated federal law when it excluded bonuses from its overtime calculations, averaging more than $1,000 in back wages owed to each employee. Our investigators remain committed to obtaining appropriate remedies for workers who are not paid as the law requires. So good news there. Meanwhile, get this. The Department of Labor, same agency, has proposed more than $3.5 million in fines against 3 companies after federal inspectors determined they failed to protect workers during post-emergency response cleanup. Now, this was after a chemical spill at the BWC Terminals Industrial Facility in Texas. OSHA initiated 3 inspections after a December 27th, 2025 sulfuric acid spill at the terminal, which led to multiple employee injuries. OSHA found that despite safety warnings, BWC Terminals mixed fresh and spent sulfuric acid, triggering a tank overpressure that ruptured a supply line, releasing 1 million gallons of sulfuric acid, resulting in multiple employee injuries. Wait, there's more. Following the spill, they contracted Coastal Environmental Solutions to handle hazardous waste cleanup, and Coastal Environmental Solutions hired subcontractor One Way Environmental Services to provide laborers for the cleanup. Despite having full knowledge of the severe hazards involved in the spill and cleanup response, these 3 employers chose to bypass OSHA requirements and put their workers at serious risk. That comment from the Assistant Secretary for OSHA, David Keeling. He goes on to say, their joint failure to protect workers was not an oversight. It was a choice that resulted in preventable employee injuries and environmental impacts. OSHA investigators cited One Way Environmental Services for 18 willful, egregious, and 5 serious violations after investigators found the employer sent workers to clean up the chemical spill without adequate training, respirator fit tests, or safety measures. So OSHA fined them $3,045,000 in penalties. Coastal Environmental Solution faces $391,000 in proposed penalties for 2 willful and 5 serious violations that include lack of training, a safety and health program, and an emergency response team. Getting back to BWC Terminals, they were cited for 6 serious violations for exposing workers to chemical burns, failing to provide hazmat training, and deficiencies relating to the use of respirators. OSHA proposed just over $82,000 in penalties, which is ridiculously low. But when you put all the penalties together for the 3 employers, it totals $3,520,000. Amazing what the government has to do to make sure that workers are treated safely on the job, okay? All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, UA Local 43 in Chattanooga, Tennessee.
You're listening to America's Workforce with Ed Flash Ferens.
It takes LiUNA to power North America with affordable energy. The men and women of LiUNA, the Laborers International Union of North America, have the skills needed to build and maintain oil, natural gas, nuclear, solar, and wind projects that are shaping America's energy future. From new energy tech to retrofitted facilities, LiUNA members do it all. Find out what it takes to be powered by LiUNA at liuna.org. That's LIUNA.org.
America's Workforce is brought to you in part by the Ironworkers. You can find more at ironworkers.org. America's Workforce is brought to you in part by the International Federation of Professional and Technical Engineers. You can find more at ifpte.org.
There is unity and strength for workers.
We are the USW.
We are the USW.
The United Steelworkers.
The largest industrial union in North America.
We represent 850,000 members in the U.S., Canada, and the Caribbean.
We work in metals,
rubber,
chemicals,
paper,
oil refining,
atomic energy, and the service sector.
We are steelworkers, standing strong and fighting for what's right.
America's Workforce is brought to you in part by the Communication Workers of America. You can find more at cwa-union.org.
Now, back to America's Workforce. Here's Ed Flash Ferens.
And don't forget, you can check us out on Facebook or follow us on X, formerly known as Twitter. That would be AWF Union Podcast, AWF Union Podcast. You know what I really love about unions? So many storied locals around the country. Today, we are featuring United Association Local 43, which is based in Chattanooga, Tennessee. Listen to this. Talk about a rich history. They got their charter August 25th, 1890. 1890. A lot of good things are happening in America with the trades. In fact, we're going to talk a lot about this grant from the Bloomberg Foundation. And it's creating a lot of great opportunities for young people. And we're seeing a lot of young people saying, you know what, maybe college isn't for me. I got to get involved in the trades. Number one, no college debt. Number two, you get paid right away, and you're probably going to make more than what you thought you were going to make once you left college with a degree. We have Joe Koch. Joe is the president of the local. He is a training coordinator, and joining him is Matt Johnson. Joe, I'm going to start with you. A little background on yourself, your path to the trades. If you don't mind, let's start right there, brother. Go ahead.
Yeah, myself, kind of a late bloomer, came into the trade after going to school for a little bit and pursuing another career, and just worked myself right into the trade, which was really life-changing for me, you know. So I finished my apprenticeship program here at in Chattanooga, started teaching the same year as I graduated here at the training center. Taught for 11 or 12 years, worked out in the field. I'm a plumber by trade. Worked for a few companies. I was an estimator, cost analysis for a piping company for many years, and was lucky enough to find my way back to my local as the training coordinator. You know, I've served in many roles here on the business side as far as membership goes, whether it's on boards or the secretary or as president. But to be able to work here in the capacity as training coordinator and see young men and women come through this program and, you know, have the same experiences that myself and Matt did is probably the most rewarding thing I've ever done.
Wonder if you could speak to the current crop of students at the apprenticeship program. How are they looking?
They're great. We go through a pretty rigorous process to try to choose the right individuals that we want. You know, I mean, we're looking for young men and women that want to work hard and earn a living, you know, and be stewards of this union, you know, because me and Matt are going to be here forever. And we want people to take the reins, and we hold this particular union to a certain standard, and we look for that. The kids coming in today are bright. They're smart. They come from everywhere, all backgrounds. We get tons of college students coming right out of school looking for something else, something different. And we get high school kids. I mean, we get the wide range of everybody. So the future is very bright, I think, in regards to students.
That's good to hear. Now, Matt, let's go to you. And you are the business manager. A little background on yourself, how long you've been business manager and why you got involved in the United Association.
Well, thank you. I appreciate you having me on. So I'll say much like Joe,
came in late as far as years. I was 28 whenever I came into the trade, after a couple other job opportunities prior to, in military service prior to coming into the trades. I came through the apprenticeship, of course, 5 years. I topped out in 2015. Shortly after I topped out and became a journeyman, I taught for a little while here at the apprenticeship and then moved out of that. And in 2017, I was a business agent under a previous administration of Larry Morrison, who was previous training coordinator, also agent and manager previously as well. I spent 6 years as a business agent, dispatching members around the Chattanooga area and then across the country. And then I have been a business manager for 3 years at the end of this year.
How would you assess the work? I was reading on your website that your Local 43 of the United Association has continuously supported the Tennessee Valley in a number of ways. We're talking chemical plants, power generation, hospitals, universities. I'm sure data centers part of that whole situation as well. The work, it sounds like there might be a lot going on right now. Could you talk about it?
I can. So I'll say this, that nationwide, now you can drop it down to a smaller scope for this area. We particularly cover 17 counties is what Local 43 covers, which we have tons of locals, UA locals that cover all 50 states and multiple locals within each state. The work scope for us is large nationwide. The UA has over 400,000 members as a whole, as a large entity. And then as I mentioned previously to you, that we have right around 1,300 members for us. We are pretty much at full employment right now. The workload is growing weekly. And some projects they're on the books to start are still months to come before they even break ground on them. So the work is good. And you say Tennessee Valley, as far as all the work, if any type of place has piping in it, we do that type of work. No matter where it's at, hospital, school, chemical plant, food processing, power generation, doesn't matter what it is.
And I can only assume that work is going to last for a long degree of time. What do you say to that?
I would say yes. So, much like at the introduction for this setup, we've been here since 1890. We have consistently had work with a qualified skilled workforce. The work that we have going on right now, it just continues. There's always ups and downs with the market, the economy, that sort of thing. But as far as a sustained workforce here, we keep everyone employed. We stay busy. The work has its ups and downs, but I would say for the foreseeable future, currently, we're booming.
And there is a shortage in the skilled trades. And what's really good about this conversation, and I've noticed this, a lot of people, very, very wealthy people, foundations, and in this case, Bloomberg Philanthropies, recently announced a $90 million initiative to change how high school students prepare for and enter registered apprenticeships and high wage, let me repeat that, family sustaining careers in the United States. So gentlemen, hold that thought. I want to talk about what's happening in America right now. And this is something that's going to benefit your local. You know that, UA Local 143. Back in a few minutes. You're listening to America's Workforce. Our featured guest on Trades Day today, Joe Koch, who's the training coordinator and president of UA Local 43. And joining him is Matt Johnson, who is the business manager. Back in a few minutes. Don't go away.
You're listening to America's Workforce with Ed Flash Ferens.
American workers are sick of struggling to get by. It's time to get ahead. In the Teamsters Union, workers are winning industry-leading contracts, historically high wages, fully paid health care, and retirement benefits you can count on. Across the country, Teamsters fight alongside our brothers and sisters to secure a better life. It's what we've been doing and how we've been living for more than a century. When we fight, we win. Join us. Be a Teamster.
America's Workforce is sponsored in part by Boyd Watterson Asset Management, LLC. Find out more about our investment solutions tailored to meet the needs of Taft-Hartley funds at boydwatterson.com.
America's Workforce appreciates our sponsor, the Columbus Central Ohio Building and Construction Trades Council, who represents more than 18,000 workers from 19 affiliated local unions and district councils.
America's Workforce is brought to you in part by the International Brotherhood of Teamsters, where you can find more at teamster.org. The Heat and Frost Insulators and Allied Workers are proud to be a title sponsor for America's Workforce Radio. The Insulators Union is leading the way in the mechanical insulation industry, fire stopping, and infectious disease control. Regarded as North America's energy conservation specialists, these professionals are known for their professional work and dedication. You can learn more about the Insulators Union at insulators.org. America's Workforce is brought to you in part by the United Steelworkers. You can find more at usw.org.
Now, back to America's Workforce. Here's Ed Flash Farrens.
And remember, you can check us out on at least 5 platforms. That includes YouTube, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Spotify, and Pandora. And when you get an opportunity, here's what you do. Just sign up and receive our shows on a regular basis and give us a rating. Always appreciate those 5-star ratings, so please keep them coming. We have 2 featured guests on Trades Day here on America's Workforce. Joe Koch, who is the training coordinator for UA, United Association Local 43, along with the business manager, who is Matt Johnson. And we're talking about 1,300 members in Local 143 in the Tennessee Valley area. Chattanooga, they're based in Chattanooga, Tennessee. Gentlemen, I want to talk about this. I guess it's a grant. It's a hell of a grant. $90 million initiative to change how high school students prepare for. And I guess you are one of the locals that will be taking advantage of this. Tell me how this happened. Joe, let's start with you. I mean, you're the training coordinator over there.
We have done a program. I worked with an organization called Chat 2.0. Which is an organization that creates pathways for young adults to get into the workforce here within our city and our county. And they had a welding pathway, kind of a summer program. I was approached by them a while back regarding this grant, which they were going to go after, which is a pilot program from the Bloomberg Philanthropies. If I'm not mistaken, they chose 10 cities and then dispersed that money accordingly. Chattanooga was lucky enough and had the right leadership and the right partnerships, I believe, to take advantage of that grant, along with Chat 2.0, the IBEW, and a few other groups here in town that just came together and really ultimately what the goal is what you said. How do we get kids that are in high school a pathway directly into a registered apprenticeship program like the one we have here at Local 43? And I think this is the way. This is the conversation. I think the Bloomberg Group is committed to finding ways for people to get into these kind of programs, and they've obviously committed $90 million to it over various cities in the United States. So I'm excited to figure out with my partners here in Chattanooga how to make this a reality.
So that's kind of cool here. You kind of threw the fishing line out there and you got a bite right away on that. That was what, Chat 2.0? That's how it all happened. What was your reaction when you found out that you got, and I don't know what the chunk of money you're going to get out of this or what?
I think Chattanooga itself received about $9 million. And that's dispersed, throughout, what everyone got. I'm not aware of yet. This is sort of a new kind of thing that's happening. It's very brand new. I mean, they announced it on June 8th, I believe. So the conversation is being started here. Groups of people are having meetings and it's kind of a slow start, but that's okay. So yeah, I mean, it's a lot of money. It's a lot of money. It's an exciting program. It's over 3 years. They've given time for us to build a program, get a plan in place. So it is exciting. I was very excited. I'm not going to kid you. There's a lot of excitement, and there's also a lot of responsibility when it comes to something like that. When someone's offering you that kind of money, they expect results, right? So this local 43, in my opinion, is results driven, right? So we accept that challenge daily.
Do you have a timetable on this? I mean, they throw that chunk of money. They want results. They want results right away. What do we know about that right now?
We know a little bit. They're giving us about some planning time, which is really nice. They understand that this is a pilot program, so they're giving us some planning time. But they look to increase the number of people getting into registered apprenticeship programs like ours, particularly unions, whether it be the UA, the IBEW, Boilermakers Union, Carpenters. So there's lots of them, but they look to have very increased numbers over that 3-year period. So there are some marks that we got to hit.
Matt, if you don't mind, I want to go to you right now because any business manager, well, number one, he or she wants to increase a membership. And obviously, it's kind of premature right now. I mean, to what Joe was saying, you got to get a plan of action together. It's going to take some time. You do have time, but, the results, they're going to want the results right away. If somebody's given that kind of money away, I mean, a total of $90 million, they're going to want to see something happen. And then you, as a business manager, you want to see that local grow. Any idea? I mean, you got to be speculating here, where Local 43 could be in the next maybe year or 2 or 3 years. You mentioned there's a lot of work going on there, but obviously there's going to be some growth. Can you address that?
Regarding the growth, I mean, you do. You want your local to grow. You want the opportunity to just grow, both on the numbers that come in that are interested in the program coming in through the apprenticeship, leading to the journeyman members that we have as far as the work scope. Bigger, faster, stronger. As far as people come in, the program that we have is 5 years here for the apprenticeship. The work scope that you have come in, you have to ensure that you meet the request of a contractor that needs the labor force. The goal here on the things is to increase, larger size, better training. I mean, as far as you increase each little thing, little by little to meet the goal at hand, really.
Well, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, the construction industry will need to hire more than 700,000 workers a year, all right, to meet the demand. And we're talking 81,000 electricians, 44,000 plumbers, pipe fitters, and steam fitters each year. So that's where Local 43, with everything that's being said right now, what's going on, what needs to be done. Out of that 44,000, how many jobs do you see happening over there in the local?
Which I would say this, I mean, on average, so right now on apprentice numbers, I mean, on what we take per year, just to increase on it yearly, I would say on average, what would you say, Joe, around 40?
Yeah.
On average, we on brand new people type thing, as far as coming in who apply and are interested, we take in on average of probably 40 per year, which you have at the end of the 5th year. You're going to have that class that tops out, that meets all the requirements after the 5 years. So you have people that are interested in the program. You have people that are interested, that have a background in construction. Maybe not specifically this, but just as a whole on being around construction. And those numbers grow as we reach out to schools, especially Joe, on going out and basically communicating what we have to offer. And the opportunities that are there, as far as what you spoke on earlier, as far as the high-paying jobs, the careers, the benefits that are there for longevity, for a person who wants to build a good life, pretty much through the UNA. So on the jobs and the opportunities in the 44,000 as far as plumbers, steamfitters, welders, that kind of thing, the opportunities there. The jobs increase weekly, it seems like. And we bring people in constantly because we bring people in both at an apprentice level as well as at a journeyman level, individuals that have the skill set that are interested in coming to this path.
According to the Bloomberg release, the average age of new apprentices in the country is 29. Now, I'm just wondering here, does that mean, and I know both of you got into the trades a little bit later, and a lot of people got in the trades after they realized college didn't work for them. I'm just wondering, are we going to see maybe a targeting of high schools here? Bring them in a little bit younger. I don't know what the game plan is, but I'm sure that's probably under discussion. Joe, I'm going to throw that one to you.
Yeah, I think at least the focus here in Chattanooga and with Chat 2.0 is going to be within the Hamilton County school system, right? They're going to start a program. They're going to try to get kids from high school a direct path into a registered apprenticeship program. We have currently 2 schools that are pathway schools here in Chattanooga. And they're building a third, right? Those are just for trade jobs and tech jobs, right? We have the school system has a gentleman named Tony Donan, who is part of this team and is a great guy. Started a STEM program here at our local community college for high school kids to get into. So he already kind of has a little bit of a blueprint about how to do this. So I'm looking forward. But yeah, the real thing is to get those kids from high school a real pathway directly into a registered apprenticeship program. Having said that, we see people from all ages. We interviewed 200 interviews for this class that we just took in May. We saw people anywhere from 17 to 50. And so it's not a mistake what you read. There's a lot of mid-20s, people that are seeing their jobs either they're not making enough money. They have no benefits. They can't get the hours they need. And the price of everything, as you know, is just continuing to climb. So they need a sustainable job. And they need a job that can pay them a sustainable wage, a livable wage, and something they can take care of their family with. So they know that places like Local 43 are a place like that. Certainly, we look at all those people and their skill sets, and we try to pick the best that we can. If we could take them all, we would. Where we take as many as we absolutely can fit into this school every year. The UA itself has a tremendous training program, and the support that we get from the UA itself is tremendous. They have a great team there. Ray Boyd, who's the training director for the UA, is constantly on the forefront of making sure that these training centers are up to date, that they're providing the best curriculum that they possibly can. They're all registered apprenticeship programs with either the federal government or the state in which they're in, or both, like ours. So the UA has committed a ton of money to their training centers and to make sure that our training, the level of our training, is above and beyond what you're going to find anywhere else.
The best part about this whole conversation is the powers in place in America, the Bloombergs, the CEOs. They're realizing, I'm looking at the press release now that came out in June. Michael Bloomberg, 3-term mayor, New York City. The guy's made a heck of a fortune here on Wall Street. And this is what he said: millions of good paying jobs are going unfilled, and too many students never get a chance to learn the skills necessary to get them. This initiative will change that. Jim Farley, who's the CEO of Ford: the future of our country depends on the skilled trades. And I just came across a story over the weekend about artificial intelligence, the jobs that are going to disappear. But the article also pointed out the jobs that are not going to disappear, the jobs that are going to be in demand. two things. Healthcare, we're all going to need healthcare. Let's be honest about that. We got to pay for that healthcare. That's why it's good to be involved in the trades, because they have got good benefits. But the other part of it is skilled trades. Skilled trades and healthcare. That is the future in America. And you got to be pretty proud of the fact that you're one of 10 cities that's going to share this $90 million pot that's happening here. Matt, I'm going to give you the last word here. The future looks pretty darn bright. No doubt about that. And I'm just wondering what you have to say just to button up this interview, because with everything that I said, what your partner said here, it's pretty exciting. What do you think?
I would definitely agree with you. The future is bright. The school here, the staff, how they do, the way, to be honest on all this, Joe has taken the bull by the horns on this and pushed through. And I think it will only grow leaps and bounds. Even if we just set on this 3-year commitment that's coming up for the Bloomberg Foundation, 3 years, 5 years, 7 years, 10 years, I think it will just grow and grow. I look forward to it.
All right. You can get some more information. I tell you, a lot of opportunity happening in Chattanooga, Tennessee. ualocal43.org. And just want to drive everybody over there, because I'll tell you, that is definitely the new frontier. No doubt about that. ualocal43.org. Gentlemen, thank you so much. Joe Koch, training coordinator, and Matt Johnson, business manager of United Association Local 43. You please keep in touch with us, okay?
Pleasure speaking with you, sir. Thanks for having us on.
Thank you.
And that'll be it for another edition of America's Workforce. Coming up tomorrow, labor lawyer Andrew Strom will be joining us. Until then, all of you have a safe and wonderful day.
That concludes another episode of the America's Workforce Radio Podcast. Thanks for listening, and be sure to subscribe so you never miss a show. America's